everyone. Today I have a special guest, Eric Rodriguez. Eric, how you doing today?
Doing well. Calling in from Manila, Philippines.
Awesome. We love the Philippines. I'm in Orlando, Florida right now. It's pretty hot. What's the weather like in the Philippines?
Well, it's summertime over here, so it's probably a little bit even hotter.
What are you doing in the Philippines? Do you live there or are you traveling there?
I live here. I first visited some 3 years ago, and I full out moved here a year and a half ago.
Awesome. For those of you that don't know, Eric has been doing e-commerce for 10 plus years since the early days when he did $24,000 in the first 3 months on eBay at the age of 13. In the pursuit of entrepreneurship, he rejected a traditional job opportunities at Google and Microsoft to take one-way flight to China to take his e-commerce endeavors to the next level. Eric is a current digital nomad, six-figure monthly e-commerce seller, and owner of the Products Photography Studio in the Philippines that employs over 24 people and Walmart retail vendor in over 1,200 locations. Eric, I'm excited to talk to you. I know you got a presentation all about building and growing your brand, which is obviously a hot topic nowadays. That's what everyone's trying to do is grow their brand as Amazon becomes harder and harder. I'm going to let you take it away. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about yourself and what you're going to talk about today?
Yeah. I'll go from the basic to the advanced. What's helped me succeed on Amazon in what is a very growingly competitive landscape. So let's get started. Like Nathan covered, I won't go into specifics too much here. I'm an Amazon seller like many of you. I created a photo studio that exemplified the best practices that I saw was working on Amazon. And due to my high-performing Amazon listings, a Walmart buyer approached me in the office category and picked up some of my products in 1,200 plus locations. So let's get started here. So I always like to cover the bare bones of what makes a successful Amazon seller. Some of us do a good job in some of these areas, but many of us leave a lot of the other areas as far as money on the table, right? Many of us, we focus on the pay-per-click, the driving organic rank, the competitive price point, our copywriting. But at times, we abandon the review score and we do an average job on images. And what most people don't do is the driving traffic from off Amazon to Amazon. But we'll go into those nitty-gritties in this presentation. The logic behind private label, as many of you know, and I'll skim over this. You have a category like meat shredders, right? It's just a bunch of Me Too products. And the way one can innovate in very small fashions, from the most simplest way would be just a color mold change, which will visually differentiate the product and help drive click-through rate, right? And a higher conversion and overall sales. The way more advanced sellers take that to the next level is by being very conscientious on the product design stage of how is that main image going to look like. What I do personally, right, when I'm working with my sourcing agent, my product designers, my industrial engineer, is we're very conscientious of what's the size of the text, the font on the packaging, on the product, and how is that going to look like on the main image, right? So this seller did a pretty good job because when we take that to search results, it really pops, right? So I always tell all the sellers, be very conscientious on brainstorming and visualizing what your main image going to look like months before when you're in the sourcing and product design stage. Nathan, I'm not sure if you agree or you have anything to add before I jump on to the next topic.
No, it's funny. I'm kind of a little farther removed from the day-to-day of Amazon. I was an Amazon seller for 8 years, but now I'm kind of here running the marketplace for freelancers. So I kind of turn to you guys for stuff like this.
Sure. This is on the topic now as far as images, right? I think everyone agrees, right? There was once a time when people spent $500+ to get a listing copywriting properly done. People still do, but copywriting is a bit of diminishing returns, right? You need to do a good job, but generally the places where the highest return on investment is on the images, the image gallery, the enhanced brand content, the videos, right? Statistics like this point this out very clearly, right? There was a study done that surveyed customers of e-commerce websites, and they saw that 67% of people graded the image quality as very important versus copywriting, 54%, the testimonials and reviews in 53%, right? So images very important, and we'll go more into the nitty-gritty of what I'm talking about. Mobile optimization. So what is most sellers leaving on the table? Most folks, they create a decent job as far as images, and they create infographics which are well intended, but often not conscientious or mobile optimized. And I'll show you visual examples, right? So this is a sample of a listing that at the time was doing 6.3 thousand a month in revenue. And we're going to dissect it and see what could the seller have been doing as far as a better job. Main image, it's all right, right? It's fine. I'm sure there's ways to improve it, but it's the secondary images we're gonna chew them up for. So the infographics, well intended. On the left, we have a feature infographic where they're showing measurements, features, magnifying glass. On the right, we have what's called comparison infographic showing the product versus competitors and how it's so flawed and inferior to the competition, right? I'm sure on the computer, it shows up legible, but on mobile, as you can see, you're wasting real estate, right? So I encourage all Amazon sellers to be very conscientious on checking how are the images appearing on mobile, right? Just additional examples, right, of the image gallery. On the left, we have what's called inset images, where you show multiple angles of a product or different usage cases. On the right, you just have another feature infographic, but both of which weren't created with mobile in mind. I like to insert statistics from time to time in the presentation. So there was a case study done in Czech Republic, and they saw by providing larger images that could be more easily viewed, they saw 9.46% uplift in sales. What everyone knows is that images must be 1,000 pixels on the longest side. But what most people overlook is properly cropping the images the photographers are giving you. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So the image to the left shows an image set that a standard photographer designer would give an Amazon seller. It's up to the job of the seller to then crop the images according to where they're uploading, right? The upload requirements for Jet, Box, Walmart, Amazon, they vary. So you need to make sure you're compliant as far as pixels, but at least for Amazon, right? Aside from the 1,000 pixels on longest side, you have to crop it. What happens if you don't do a good job of cropping it like this is your main image is going to appear smaller in search results. So your product, your search result will appear smaller. And that's to the point of the last statistic, that's hurting sales. So just another statistic I'll plug. In certain categories, having images that are not as large as they should be can be very impactful or negative on sales, right? In jewelry category, there was a case study done that by increasing the size of their images by 28%, they saw a 63% higher click-through rate. That's obvious, it's jewelry, but this is across all categories, right? So crop your images. Okay, so now let's talk about titles, right? We just spoke about the images. The titles is another area where folks, they often forget about how does it appear on mobile, right? So that previous screen right here, what is often 200 characters in 9 out of 10 categories, it gets cut down to 78 characters on mobile. Now, Amazon's always changing this, testing this, but at the time this was taken, it was 78 characters, right? So to the point of this example, right, when you are working with your copywriter, maybe you use FreeUp, you hire your copywriter from them, you need to always make sure to be proactive in reminding your copywriter that first 78 characters that appears on mobile, it really should put your best foot forward, right? Usually people are always, they're trying to balance keyword stuffing, SEO, and human copywriting, human conversion. So my take on that is first 78 characters should be a bit more for human conversion, more readable, easily legible. And then the latter component, I generally will keyword stuff a little bit more, right?
Are
Because of the
there
mobile.
Are there any
Yeah.
tools that you like or you recommend or you see your clients having a lot of success with? I know we partner with Helium 10 and Seller Labs and a bunch of other different software that all do a lot of different things. I mean, we work with like Feedback Wiz on the feedback side, but is there something specific when you're talking about titles that you prefer?
Yeah. So my team generally they use Viral Launch to build their Amazon listings, but all the programs, Helium 10, Viral Launch, pretty much very similar. None of them right now proactively remind sellers like, hey, this is your 78 character, your mobile cutoff. None of them, to my knowledge, none of them proactively remind you. So that's something you just have to kind of like manually just check it. Like, where's that 78 character, the mobile cutoff, right?
Got it.
Yeah. But yeah, Helium 10, Viral Launch, they're both good as far as keyword research, making sure you're using up all your keywords at least once in the title, the bullets. They're all good. So I'll show you a visual example of what I'm talking about. In the red, we have an existing Amazon listing on the marketplace and what would show on mobile. In the green, what we did was we reworded it to put the best foot forward on mobile. In the third result, you could see a really big change, right? Because in the initial search result on mobile, the seller wasn't able to proactively say, hey, look, the 30 LED, 8 modes, USB charging, all that was cut off. And so to the point of mobile, right, we reworded it, and now all their differentiators, when it's going to show up in search results, it's going to make the customer like, wow, okay, there's a lot of differentiators in this search result, right? Okay, now let's talk about lifestyle images. This is an example of a poor lifestyle image. If you look at this, you'd be like, is this a prop for the X-Men movie? You don't know, right? And this is not to insult a Chinese listing, but this probably is a Chinese listing. A proper example, right? You show it in use. So you have some pork, some beef, you're showing it in use, right? You want to help customers visualize the enjoyment they would receive by using their product. As a funny example of lifestyle image, pick the wrong day to be a pig. No job is too big for cave tools. And that probably works well for their market, right? This is something that we laugh, but if you test it, maybe with PickFu, or you test it with Listing Dojo or Splitly, maybe it works really well for them, right?
Right.
Okay. Other common tactics folks do in their images, comparison graphics, right? So what are all the differentiators of my product versus a competitor? Usually a common tactic is you get a couple inferior competitors and you compare them, right? It's a common tactic. Now, as far as disclaimer, right, to make sure you do this right and you don't step on any toes or get in trouble. So a copyright infringement is where you take someone else's image and you use it in your own, right? Generally, when our team, when we do it, the comparison infographics, we won't just copy and paste a competitor's and implant it in comparison. Maybe you could get away with it and be fine, but we don't. We generally will make a small alteration. If there's branding or logo, we'll rip that off. We're generally not calling out the competitor by name. We'll just say like competitor 1, or we'll just say competitor 1 or competitor 2, and we'll rip off branding, and sometimes we'll make a small alteration or something like that. But we don't just copy and paste their main image. Again, for the infographics, large font, concise. You're not writing a whole story here, right? So just be very careful as far as not having too much text. Feature graphics, there's many ways to do these. There's how to, there's assembly, there's sizing charts, warranty charts, warranty diagrams, feature charts. There's many different infographics. These are just two examples, right? So as far as the argument for infographics, this is a study that was done, which I think is pretty relevant, right? So when people hear information, they likely only remember 10% of the information 3 days later. But if the same information is paired with images, people remember 65%. Now, this is what you might say this is a memory recollection study, Eric. I get it. But if you're driving by a billboard on the highway and you see one advertisement and you don't remember it 3 days later versus you see another advertisement and you do remember it, that is, although it's recollection, it's very sales, right? The study that's out there, right, is 3/4 of research is done from mobile. What this means is generally when you're deciding what you want to buy later, it's 3/4 of the research is being done on the phone. When you're on the go, you're thinking of something you want to buy, you do the research on the phone. And half of the actual purchasing is done on computer versus the phone. But so yeah, infographics are effective. Let's talk about videos for a little bit. So a study was done by Kissmetrics about the effectiveness of videos. And it said that viewers are anywhere from 64 to 85% more likely to buy after watching product video. For those of you who don't know, where does a video go on an Amazon listing? As you can see on the bottom left-hand section, at the very bottom, that's where the video would populate. And then the customer would click on that and it would show up right there. If you want to see a good example of an Amazon video, just search Jolly Green Products, their barbecue glove commercial. It's an example of something that's moderate budget. You could probably get done for $800-900, and it's pretty well done. I won't play this video just because I don't think the audio is going to play out correctly.
If you send me the link, we'll put the link below in the YouTube video.
Yeah, I'll do that. So what to keep in mind when you're creating your videos, right? Video is something that's expensive, right? And you want to make sure you do it right. So this is something, it's called Amazon Insights. It's something that most sellers they've looked over, and most sellers don't even know it exists in their Seller Central. So with Amazon Insights, you can actually survey people in your category, people who have previously purchased your product. You can ask them either custom questions or generic questions populated by Amazon that say, what made you make the purchasing decision? How did you hear about my product? How would you rank the features? What's most important? The FDA grade food safe silicone, that it's easy to clean, the warranty, that it's 500 plus reviews. Did that impact your purchasing decision? The 425-degree heat protection, what was it, right? The reason why it's important to know, right, is in a video, especially if you're going to have, let's say, a Facebook video where it's like 15 seconds or less, has to captivate attention. You don't have too much time in seconds to cover too many things. So you want to make sure you know why do people buy? Why do people care, right? So Amazon Insights. For those of you who don't know, how do I implant a video in my Amazon listing? There's two ways. For the majority of you, it's going to be Seller Central. Seller Central with Brand Registry 2.0. Some of you will have access to Vendor Central. That's a different discussion. But for Seller Central with Brand Registry 2.0, I'll explain how to do it now. It's rather simple when you know the process. 3 requirements. 1, website. 2, trademark. 3, branding on the packaging. So let's decompose that. The website. I will literally go on Weebly.com and then just have Weebly / barbecue gloves or the XYZ brand. I'll just have that. Literally not even a custom domain. Now, if your intention is to create an actual Shopify, then sure, take that extra effort. But at least for me, when I'm just trying to create the fastest, cheapest website just to succeed in getting Brand Registry 2.0, that's all. Trademark. The trademark can be international, US, Mexico, UK, and many others. The US one will take you 8 months. And so what I do is as soon as I hit the product sourcing stage, just early ideas, and I decide, okay, I'm going to enter this category, let's say office supplies. I am going to start brainstorming my brands. And once I've figured out a brand I like, I'll do trademark search and I'll file for a trademark pretty right away. And then I'll provide proof of usage of that trademark later, okay? And this way, 8 months isn't as burdensome because it's going to take me 3 months anyway from end-to-end sourcing and manufacturing, right? And then branding on the packaging. Some sellers will have something as simple as just a poly bag with an insert card, and it has their logo or their branding on the insert card that's visible through the poly bag. That's as how low budget as you could do it. But obviously, for an average price product of $15+, you'll have the standard cardboard branded packaging, right? So trademark, something that's new to some folks, and I'll explain. So where to do it? Most lawyers are going to charge you a ton of money. I'll save you the effort and the lost money there because I've been there. Legally.co, that's who I personally use. It's $165. And that's their service fee, and then the governmental fee is $225, okay? By month, let's say 6, what I generally do is I'll set a bi-weekly, which means 2 times a week, two times a month, a calendar reminder. That'll just remind me, hey, to check the trademark status, okay? Because at least for me, for some reason, I never get notified when my trademark finally gets approved. I don't know why I don't receive the mail. I think some people do, but for some reason, it doesn't make it to me. So when you finally do get the trademark approved, it'll say registered, principal registered, which in layman's term is you're registered. Congratulations. How do you fill out the Brand Registry 2.0 application? You go to brandregistry.amazon.com. You click enroll a new brand. Then you just say, yes, I have branding on packaging. You enter in the brand name. You tell them, is it a word trademark or logo trademark? And you give them the approved USPTO trademark number. That's it. You click next. Then you're going to get a verification code sent to you. So for me, I have a lawyer on record publicly. I don't put actual public contact info. So the lawyer will get emailed and then they'll forward it to you. Now, if your contact info is there, which is not advisable, it'll go there. Then you just get that verification code, you copy and paste it into an Amazon case, okay? Once you have brand registry, then you can go to advertising, drop down enhanced brand content, and you just enter in the SKU. All this, you could just, you just copy and paste the SKU, click get started, and from there you can enter in your EBC, your video, all of that. Okay, so let's talk about a more advanced topic. We're gonna talk about external traffic. Most folks, most Amazon sellers do a decent job when it comes to pay-per-click and organic rank. What most folks leave as far as money on the table is this last one, traffic from off Amazon. And in the argument that I'm gonna make, I'm gonna show you some examples of why. Okay, to the left you see it's a 4-in-1 camping utensil kit. It's a bestseller in the camping utensil category. To the right you have Ahref and the backlink checker. When we check it, there's 19 backlinks. Okay, what kind of backlinks do they have? Well, what do you know? 21 products for people who love to eat, 10 best camping utensils in 2019, build the ultimate camping kitchen, top 10 camping and cooking utensils. So they have a pretty good referral traffic from search engines like Google, right? So when the standard Amazon seller is in a constant battle to hold their rank, constantly spending pay-per-click, this seller is going to more easily hold their rank over time because they have that referral traffic, right? Which probably a good amount of it is resulting in sales. And whether Amazon, and to what degree does Amazon reward external traffic? That's a rabbit hole and a debate that I won't go down. But people would argue that the Amazon does highly reward external traffic. So a more competitive category, we have Detox Tea with 2,000 reviews. They, at the time this was taken, they were doing 172 a month and $172,000, and they have 278 backlinks. Now, a couple things, right? That's a lot of work. So to have that many backlinks. Okay, one, this is a health product. So naturally, any product in health, it gets reviewed a lot. So it's going to be on a lot of bloggers, reviewer sites. So take that into consideration. Two, how old a product has been on the marketplace, it impacts, right? So if you have first mover advantage, more people are going to review you. So, but anyway, this one is a product that's been on the Amazon marketplace for the longest amount of time. It's probably 10 plus years. Do they have a lot of backlinks? Yeah, 3,000 plus. This is probably an example of first mover advantage, right? And I have never seen them move from that bestseller badge. They hold it like a rock. Anyway, anything else, Nathan, do you want to add on external traffic or probably freelancers that help with this? I'm not sure if you have freelancers on the marketplace that help with this.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, really everything that you've covered, whether it's video editing, creating listings, whether it's Amazon PPC or external traffic through different social media channels, Instagram, we just added Pinterest experts, obviously your standard Facebook ads, Google ads, stuff like that. But yeah, wide range of freelancers, all about growing your brand.
Yeah. There was a fellow I just spoke to yesterday who, he monitors his bestseller, and whenever it drops in keyword rank, just for any of their primary keywords, he'll use his Facebook VA who will do the ManyChat with a super URL for that keyword, right? So that he's constantly maintaining keyword rank and being proactive about as soon as he dips on his primary keyword, he's addressing it proactively. And I'm sure there's plenty of virtual assistants on FreeUp that help with that kind of task as well.
Yeah, you've got the virtual assistants that are more of the followers. They're to follow your system, your process. You've got the mid-level specialists, the video editors, Amazon listers, and then you got the high-level freelancers and agencies that are bringing their own strategy and expertise to the table.
Yeah. So what's the options for driving traffic to Amazon, right? Here's all the common ones: Facebook, YouTube, and vloggers and bloggers, right? So let's put this together in a timeline. Now, what happens is some Amazon sellers, where they mess up, right, is they don't plan their timeline well, and it results in a less successful Amazon listing, or you holding money tied up in inventory for longer than what is necessary, right? What very much happens, what I see, is a seller waits until their full manufacturing run is finished, and then they're like, okay, like they call their photographer, their designers, their video people, and they're like, okay, I need this work done. And it's like, we should have started this as soon as you had a prototype or first couple units off the production line, so we'd have more buffer, right? So that's what this timeline talks about. And I'll share this slide deck with Nathan and his community. But day 0, manufacturing begins. By day 14, you have initial units produced. As soon as you have some units off the production line, you should send some units to your photographer or your videographer, right? And photos of the sample to the copywriter and the designer so they can use that, right? It'll depend on the product, but by day 30, at latest 40, manufacturing is completed, right? What I do, instead of me sending the full batch via sea, which would take 30 to 40 days, I always send in advance 500 pieces via air. Why? Because this batch will hit early and I can then do pay-per-click and start driving keyword rank, in advance of the main batch inventory landing, right? So when the sea shipment lands, by then my 500 pieces are starting to exhaust, and the sea shipment will replenish, right? And by then I have a control variable as far as what kind of revenue am I doing, and I can start doing A/B testing should I wish, right? But that's my timeline. Anyway, that's pretty much everything I have. And Nathan, if you want to have a discussion or add in anything, more than happy to. Or if you have any questions.
No, Eric, this has been fantastic. Guys, check out Virtuous Graphics. If you have any questions, you can email them at support@virtuousgraphics.com. Obviously, you can use FreeUp for any of your freelancer, virtual assistant, and agency needs as well. And I appreciate you coming on and dropping a lot of knowledge to my audience.
Thanks for having me, Nathan.
Hey, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Did you enjoy this content? If so, click like, leave us a comment, and subscribe to our channel so we can continue bringing you great content all about hiring.